Hello, everyone. Welcome to day number 4, our tips and tricks for our Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Today's tip is the all about really password managers and the good and the horrifying. So, why would I say horrifying when I was just recommending password managers for like the last 3 episodes at some point in time in the episode? Well, again, this is all about education and to understand how the password managers work so that you can make some informed decisions on what features you may or may not use and what password managers you're going to select. Now, we don't really, this is not a sales thing. We don't really want to push any specific password managers, especially if we want this to be valid for more than 6 months. There's going to be a best of probably 2 or 3 times that will be the top ranking over the next few months. So if we want to let this stand the test of time, we don't want to recommend a specific product, but we want to talk about the features in those products. So what exactly is horrifying about Password Manager? Well, it's your lockbox. It's the lockbox that sits in the safe with all of your valuables in it. You know, your digital valuables, your whole digital life is in there. Your sites, your account numbers, your passwords, all of that's in there. And even if you have two-factor authentication enabled on everything, hackers still could utilize all of this information to wedge themselves somehow into your digital thumbprint, right? So we don't really want that information exposed. We've spent a lot of time and effort creating unique passwords, and that's why we're using the password manager so that we can actually have that, and we don't have to consume all of our time memorizing all of our passwords. So why exactly then would it be horrifying? Well, because it's all in one box, and if that box gets unlocked, they have everything. That's the horrific part. And now it's time to alleviate that a little bit and tell you that the technology used underneath the covers is something called zero knowledge. And really, it's just putting encryption on that data so that they can't read what you store in the database. Now, you're probably thinking, well, how is that possible? They grab my credentials. They're unlocking that box for me every time I log in. The reality is that they're not unlocking the box. You are. Your password is the key. And it's also a reason why you want to make the most complex, longest master password for your password manager that is humanly possible. The more complex that is, the more it has nothing to do with you, the more it can't be socially guessed by looking at your profile or anything like that, the better. Because that is your vault, that's your steel reinforced concrete, that's the metal things, it's the locks, it's the big door with the big gigantic lock on it, all of it, that is your password. But this whole concept of zero knowledge is that they can't get to your data, which is really taking the spotlight off of them as hack targets, because it's just not worth it. Even if they did hack in and were able to get the data, they wouldn't be able to unencrypt it without use of your master password, which gets me to my first point. When choosing a password management program, you want to make sure that it's one that very implicitly states that they are either a zero knowledge, or if you lose your master password, you're out of luck. Charlie, sorry, don't lose this. Usually not the front page advertising they'll do for their management product. But if you do a little bit of digging, you will see. Now, there are a few of them that implement some password changing strategies where you can change your password. Just be aware that if they can change your password, then they could change your password, and anyone can change your password really at the end of the day, because it really might not be a full zero knowledge. They may store it with zero knowledge, but they may have mechanisms where they actually have some type of primary decryption key available. So just keep that in mind when making your selections. Now, the other piece that you really should have some knowledge on is how the password managers work, because this has been a way that people have hacked and have tricked the password managers after you've given your master password, after you're all authenticated, have tricked the password managers into giving up the goods really without the user's knowledge. And that's because of the way they work. Multiple programs have had issues with their plugins, with their browser plugins. Now, the plugin is really what identifies the website that you're trying to log into and gives you that little, hey, I see you're trying to log into here. Would you like me to give the credentials? Some of them just autofill them. Some of them will prompt you. Some of them you have to right click to fill. But no matter what the mechanism, it will do that. And there has been code that's been shown to exploit these plugins to trick them into thinking that they're giving credentials to a website that is nothing more than just smoke and mirrors done by programmers on the back end for the sole purpose of grabbing your website. Now, it's not like they can go and search your vault for everything. It's usually more of a, hey, we're going to try Bank of America and Capital One and Chase Bank and all these various ones. They're gonna try to emulate a login screen for to get that information. Now, and this information's 2 to 3 years old. These have been plugged, but like anything with code, you always have that possibility. So what I like to do is just watch with the password managers that we use and my family uses. We like to just watch those to make sure that there's no known vulnerabilities with them. And we've had it in the past. And by the time I've patched it, it was just hitting mainstream media that this was an issue with the product. So, and it was already patched. So I don't have an overwhelming concern. But if that is a concern for you, just don't enable the browser helper itself. Just copy and paste from the vault into each site as you need it. It's a pretty simple way of getting around it. So I just want to give you those couple of caveats just to have an understanding of where the horrifying part comes with password management. And to clarify that you are still far, far, far more secure using it, even with vulnerabilities like that, than not, because the likelihood of you getting targeted is very low. And the likelihood of it being effective if you're using two-factor authentication is virtually none at all. So keep that in mind. I hope this helped you out, and keep diligent. And I hope you did do your previous day's work in enabling two-factor authentication on most sites that you could. And if you need any assistance, just put in the comments below. Reach out with a private message. We'll get back to you. I can't promise we do it immediately, but we will get back to you. We could discuss your needs a little bit about what password manager might be good for you. There is a pretty short list of password managers that we recommend at the moment, so it won't be too long of a discussion, but it's more about the features and the usability than anything else. We'd be happy to help. So we'll see you for the next tip. Have a good one. Bye-bye.